Hello, and welcome to Benny's Alternate Universe. Back once again in the place where you step into my world, find out what's going on in my tape collection. Kind of busy today, so I wanted to do a quick review while I eat my lunch. What I'm eating for lunch is rice and beans burrito that I made with cheddar. Love burritos, love rice and beans. Very good for you, tasty. I use Cholula hot sauce. This is the best hot sauce around, in my opinion, for everyday, day-to-day hot sauce needs. I know sometimes if it's a special occasion, barbecue or whatnot, you might want to use some kind of crazy ass hot sauce, but just on a day in, day out basis. Enough about my burrito. Very good. Today we're talking about a tape from 1993 by the Jon Spencer Blues Explosion, which is only credited to Blues Explosion, which I think is kind of cool, because, I mean, whatever. They're a three-piece. What's so important about Jon Spencer? We're going to see in here, well, I mean, he's the frontman. Russell Simmons, Judah Bauer, the Power Trio, Jon Spencer Blues Explosion. 1993. It was a cool year. Not really. It was the year that Nirvana died. Big crushing blow to all us kids who were grungified alt-rockers at that point. Had already learned a lot from Kurt Cobain, interviews about punk rock, alt-rock, which led us into indie rock. Now, just as a full disclosure, I did not discover Jon Spencer Blues Explosion until their 1994 album, Orange, which is a really awesome album. If you can find it on tape, it's a translucent orange tape with a silver foil cover. Very, very cool. Unfortunately, I don't have that tape anymore. I lost all my original tapes in 2013. So, but that's a story I'm not going to get into because it's very painful for me. But I did acquire another copy of Extra Width, and I got Extra Width in '94 shortly after I got Orange, because Orange is a fantastic album, and pardon me, I really think it's their best album, but I don't have it to review. What I do have is Extra Width, and on Extra Width, you're going to experience the Blues Explosion sound in all its glory. And, you know, I don't know, maybe Extra Width is a little better than Orange, just in the full tiltness of it. I'm going to pump it up a little. I'm on my broken pink stereo again. Jon Spencer Blues Explosion, New York City Power Trio, fronted by former Pussy Galore frontman. I'm not sure where Boss Hogg fits into the timeline, but he was also in Boss Hogg. Guitarist, vocalist, and he had a second guitarist, Judah Bauer, no bass, and the drummer, Russell Simmons, who's an animal. Russell Simmons I love. He's in, and it's not Russell Simmons from Def Jam, although he's great, but Russell Simmons, the drummer, is a real animal, and he works in a mode that's kind of like super funky, but with a hardcore aggression. He is a hard hitter, and I have seen Jon Spencer Blues Explosion. I had the pleasure to meet Jon Spencer in 2000, want to say 15, could have been 14, would have been 14, when they played at the Spaceland Ballroom in Hamden, Connecticut. I was working there at the time, and it was well known because most of the people who worked there were younger, couldn't really care about Blues Explosion. That I was really excited for this show, so I was kind of the, I don't know what you call it, the liaison to Jon Spencer. It was really cool. But around 1994, myself, and I think a lot of people were kind of bummed out what was going on in mainstream rock. And just maybe a little early to say this, maybe we were just curious, but a lot was happening in the underground indie rock scene, with Pavement, Guided by Voices, Polvo, Slant. Of course, Sonic Youth was always, you know, skirted the boundaries between underground and mainstream, and they were kind of a gateway drug too, because once Kurt turned you on to Sonic Youth, you would then in turn get turned on to SST Records, which they released a few albums for, most notably Sister, which personally is my favorite Sonic Youth album. SST Records gets you then into Black Flag and Minutemen and Dinosaur Jr., and so on and so forth. And one of the big labels in '94 that was doing big things with Crooked Rain by Pavement, Alien Lanes, and also B1000 by Guided by Voices. Matador also had the classic Pavement album Slanted and Enchanted. What else was Matador putting out? Well, one of the bands they were putting out was Jon Spencer Blues Explosion. So yeah, had a lot of press surrounding Orange, surrounding Extra Width. Without any further historical ado, let's talk about what's going on in the tracks for Extra Width, because Blues Explosion, first of all, this is a super high energy record. Jon Spencer vocal style is unhinged to the max. This song right here is called History of Lies, and it is a banger. The riffs on the guitars, because there's two guitars doing sometimes the same thing, usually some kind of counterpoint, are really basic. The guitar sounds are grungy, overdriven. I shouldn't say grungy. I don't mean as far as the style of music known as grunge. I mean as, I don't know what I mean. It's a grungy guitar sound. It's the sound of an amp that's cranked. It's not the sound of a distortion pedal. It's not the sound of a solid state or any kind of digital modeled distortion. It's the sound of tubes breaking up. And it is really something about this album and Orange as well, but maybe even more so on this album, taps into the vein of raw rock and roll power. I could almost feel like Blues Explosion is more akin to like the Stooges than any kind of blues artist, and I don't think they ever really claimed to be a true blues band anyway. So there's like this punk rock energy, these simple guitar licks, wild and crazy vocals. The only thing I don't like about Jon Spencer, and it's a small complaint, is that his vocals sometimes are a little too stupid for me. Like, I think it's Inside the World of Blues Explosion where he starts talking about Walt Whitman, Clara Barton, a Roy Rogers roast beef sandwich. Okay, whatever, man. Much better is a tune like Backslider, which to me, I may be mistaken, but I think the word backslider is the only lyric in the entire song. History of Lies. I'm gonna treat you like a stepchild. What can I say? Jon Spencer has just a very bold, ballsy, and just attitude-laden vocal style, performance style. Guitars are in your face, drums are in your face. It's super funky. Soul typecast is great with the backup, and there are touches too. There's some girl backup singers that come in on Soul Typecast. There's some organs here and there, some straight feedback. A lot of what makes Blues Explosion so great, and the more I listen to this, I'm kind of leaning toward this is their best album. But Orange is great too. I haven't heard it in a long time, so might have to obtain that and do another review. The way that they're arranged, there's a lot of stops for the vocal, or there's a stop for a guitar part, and live this is awesome, and it really comes through on record. The production is really cool on this record. I want to see who produced this. Produced probably by Blues Explosion. Here we go. Still Crispy. They recorded this at Easley Recording in Memphis, which is kind of like well known too. Guided by Voices produced Under the Bushes, Under the Stars there. I believe Breeders recorded there at some point. produced by Jon Spencer. So there you go. So this kind of music got a boost recently in the movie Baby Driver, and I just want to say that was great too. And if you're into, rock and roll music and you want to expand your horizons, a lot of great rock and roll on there from Jon Spencer, The Damned. I forget who else makes an appearance. Really cool movie too. Enjoy that. Enjoy Baby Driver. Jon Spencer Blues Explosion record goes by pretty quick, but not too quick. Definitely makes you want to flip it over a few times. Love the cover too. He always had a lot of style, Jon Spencer. Gotta give him that. Matador Records, early 90s. A lot of great records coming out on Matador Records. So check that out too, if you want to get into the alternate universe of all kinds of great music that was going on, maybe right under your nose, and you might not have realized it at the time. So duck-wise, let's see how Jon Spencer did. Okay, for Jon Spencer, and for future reviews, because I don't want to get too pigeonholed into rock and metal, I love it, but there's a lot of great music out there. I got a new duck. One that won't make me sick? No. This is a funky duck. It's a funky mallard. And we're going to give this to Jon Spencer because this is a funky-ass album. Okay? I think he's thinking outside the box between his, coked-up Elvis impression on the vocal, the fact that there's two guitars and, no bass, and that he's singing lyrics like smell my pant leg, or take a whiff of my pant leg. We're going to give him that. Always a good time with the Blues Explosion. No worries there. It's fun. Is it heavy? Kind of is. Kind of is at times. I don't know. I don't know if I can award this the heaviness after not giving it to Candy-O, because Candy-O has a couple tunes that are sort of heavy, but this is more an overall heavy vibe. More in the tones, although there are some heavy riffs, and the drumming of Russell Simmons is vicious. Sorry. 90s indie rock, it's not where I turn to for longevity. Is it smart? Listen, we're gonna get into some more punk rock reviews soon. I'm not doing this with it's so stupid it's smart. Oh, it's a conceptual art. No, it's stupid, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Rock and roll, it can be stupid and it can be fantastic, okay? Van Halen, Ramones, Stooges. I mean, I don't see being stupid as a deterrent to making great rock and roll. AC/DC. So let's just call it how we see it, okay? It's a stupid album. It's fun. It's just goofing, making cool dance grooves that rock hard, and it's not smart. No. Attitude. Jon Spencer. Jon Spencer, the man, has attitude. Okay, I've met Jon Spencer. That boy had a lot of attitude. I'm not even going to get into this story because we're on the internet and I don't want to embarrass anybody or implicate myself. But let's just say that Jon Spencer Blues Explosion concert was an experience I'll never forget. And that boy's got some attitude on him. Well deserved, I might say. And they covered the Dead Boys too. How cool was that? Something special. There's something special about Blues Explosion Extra Width. I'm not going to say it doesn't occur on any other records because I feel it on Orange too, but I don't feel it from other bands in this particular way. Blues, soul, rock and roll. It's a great album. Great band. Check out Jon Spencer Blues Explosion. Thank you for spending this period of time with me. Oh, and I think I'm going to give this mega duck to my rice and beans burrito. My Cholula brand hot sauce. Yes, I do love hot sauce. I go crazy with it. Okay, everybody, thanks for spending this period of lunch with me. And I'll see you next time on Benny's Alternate Universe.